Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel Philosmos. My name is Fumani and this is my second video for today. So let's get straight into the topic. Meditation. Alright, so I spoke about this in my first video and I just would like to elaborate in different ways in which you as an individual can actually meditate and get yourself in a meditative state in which as you continue placing yourself in that particular state, you discipline your focus in which you can easily move from one particular way of seeing something to another with that level of efficiency and efficacy. So meditation is from the conventional sense, you are sitting in a lotus position, paying attention to your breathing, and from that point just observing your thoughts. So let me explain that procedure, that particular way, and I'd also like to express the second way, the other way in which you can meditate. In fact, the second way is actually more powerful because that can be incorporated into day-to-day practices, day-to-day activities. So let's get straight to the first one. So you basically sit in a lotus position or any comfortable position that you deem as being the best fit for you. Okay, so you can sit down, you can lie down, but the objective is to stay awake, because normally what happens is that when you get yourself into meditation, normally what happens is that you fall asleep because you're getting into a calm state, and normally when your mind is in a calm state, it's preparing to sleep. So you need to train yourself not to fall asleep, whatever position that you find yourself occupied. So once you're in that comfortable position, just pay attention to the vital energy that is coursing through your body. Pay attention to your limbs. Pay attention to how each time you place your focus of awareness, your focus of attention on it, you feel the subtle energy that is coursing through it. You feel your muscles. You feel presence in that particular limb, whatever limb it is. Focus on each particular one. Bring presence into your body. And then as you've done that, then you need to pay attention to your breathing. So breathing will always ensure that you know the particular state that you're occupying. Normally, the faster you're breathing, the higher the propensity of you experiencing a negative emotion. The slower the breath, the more deep and profound the breath is, then that is more equivalent to a state of peace and a state of happiness. So always pay attention to how you're breathing. If you're breathing like then you know you have a nervous energy and your energy is quite anxious. But when you start to control your breathing, then you're able to relax your body and get your mind into a particular state. So that's one way to hack your particular state. So breathing equals state occupied. So anytime that you want to get a pry into how you're feeling, access your breathing. Pay attention to your breathing. That will give you an indication as to how you're feeling. So once you get accustomed to paying attention to your breathing, ensure that you breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly. And as you do this, get yourself to the point where your breathing is happening involuntarily. You are not controlling it anymore. It is happening to its own accord. And that's when you get in touch with this state, this pure consciousness in which now you're just observing your organism, being the organism that it is, without you voluntarily controlling particular ways in which your body positions itself, or the particular gestures that you show, the movements that you do. So allowing your organism to unfold, to do what it needs to do. So normally what happens in these kinds of experiences, when you get really deep into meditation, you'll find your body making weird movements, like jolt out of nowhere, or you'll find yourself experiencing things that you're not necessarily used to. Do not fear this. Observe this. Do not interpret it. Do not try and understand it. Just allow your body, allow your mind to unravel. And as you do this, you'll realize what the Buddhists have called the monkey mind. So the monkey mind is basically a mind that is constantly moving on about from tree to tree, from an idea to an idea. Basically, the natural inclination of the mind is to move in accordance to association. So one thought will lead to another thought that is associated to it, and conversely this will go on and on and on. So each thought literally creates a chain of thoughts. So the higher the intensity of your involvement in your thoughts, then the higher the associations that you're going to create. Thus, I expressed this in my previous video in essence of your bandwidth of thoughts, the momentum of your thinking. If ever you would like to slow it down, do not entertain the thoughts. Do not get involved in them. This will only increase the momentum of the associative thoughts that get created out of that. What you need to do is step back, of course, place yourself into pure consciousness, and that will slow down that momentum and ensure that you get back to ground zero where there's little to no thought. So that is the first way in which you can meditate, is get yourself into that kind of state in which you get yourself into a comfortable position, place a lot of awareness, a lot of attention into your body, and then conversely pay attention to your breathing, and do not get attached or fixated on the thoughts that occupy your mind. Then the next way in which you can meditate, in which people seldomly do, is treating every movement, every thought, every speech, everything that you do, every activity that you engage in as a meditation. So just being purely there, being purely present in whatever you're doing. So let's just say you're at work, being purely present, not waiting for the moment that you knock off or waiting for lunchtime. You're just purely aware of what is going on at that given moment. Okay, so if you're taking a walk, feel the sensation of the soles of your feet touching the ground, and pay attention to the things that you did not necessarily pay attention to previously. Most of our attention is fixated on our mind. We take the location of our focus and we inundate it into the mind, and thus we disconnect ourselves from reality, from what actually is. So what meditation does is that it gets you closer to truth. It gets you closer to seeing reality as it truly is. Okay, so when you purely observe every activity that you do, you say you're driving, pay attention to the texture of the steering wheel in your hand, pay attention to the road, pay attention to the seats, pay attention to how you feel, and do not create an internal dialogue as to what is actually occurring. Just be purely in the present, and as you do this, you realize that you are actually witnessing existence and you're actually participating at the same time. But now we're so used to, so accustomed to participating, that we forget our original place, which is just to witness existence and not get involved in what actually is happening. Okay, so these are just brief ways in which you can access this level of meditation and to get yourself into a meditative state, because a meditative state always ensures that you encircle your experience with pure consciousness, and you're no longer flustered with concepts and ideas and abstractions that disconnect you from your purview of seeing reality as it truly is. Thank you very much for listening to my video, guys. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and please comment if you do would like to comment. And I'm going to end it off as I always end it off. To those who seek, seek no more, for in the present we find it all. Thank you very much.